In the new Alien Earth series, which has left fans of the franchise divided on whether to appreciate it or to hate it, we can safely say one thing though: the creatures seen here are awesome. From the new fly creature to the leech to the devilish ocellus eyeball alien and the silent but deadly Plumbicare plant alien. These are all awesome, but from all these, the Xenomorph is still the deadliest and the most feared alien life form. This variant seen here in Alien Earth might look the same as the original in split-second glances, but let me tell you one thing: it has many unique traits and many stark differences from the OG alien, the Big Chap. So here in this video, we will describe 10 anatomical or morphological differences between these two. Let's begin. Let's begin with the dorsal tubes. These here are the 4 spine-like protrusions that extend upwards from the back of the creature. These are one of the Xenomorph's most iconic anatomical features. Their exact biological function has never really been fully clarified, but they are often interpreted as part of the alien's respiratory, sensory, or even thermoregulatory system, giving the organism its biomechanical silhouette while potentially serving a deeper role in maintaining its metabolism. In Alien Earth, the Xenomorph variant is depicted with noticeably shorter dorsal tubes, averaging only around 1 foot or 30 centimeters in length. This contrasts a lot and sharply with the original 1979 alien Big Chap, whose dorsal tubes stretch well over 2 feet or 60 centimeters or more. This variation highlights how different Xenomorph strains can exhibit distinct morphological traits while retaining their recognizable hallmark of the species. Heading over to number 2, we have the dorsal spike. See, this is another key difference between the Alien Earth Xenomorph and the original 1979 alien the Big Chap, and this lies in the structure of the upper back. The Alien Earth variant completely lacks a dorsal spike, and thus gives its upper back a smoother, flatter profile without any prominent outgrowths or protrusions. This absence contributes to its more compact and streamlined silhouette, reducing the elongated skeletal elements and that made earlier forms appear so biomechanical. In contrast, the Big Chap features a distinct dorsal spike rising from its upper back, a protrusion that accentuates the creature's spindly, inhuman anatomy. This spike is not smooth but segmented, and has vertebral-like column-like ridges that run along its length, terminating in a sharp, spiky end. This feature ties into the unsettling fusion of organic and mechanical aesthetics that H.R. Giger's original design embodied, reinforcing the sense that the creature's body is both skeletal and also weaponized. Number 3. The skull design. Every Xenomorph variant has an elongated skull or a crest which stores its brain or sensory organs and maybe even hidden eyes. The skull design of the Alien Earth Xenomorph sets it apart from the original 1979 Big Chap. This creature here, the Alien Earth Xenomorph, has a black tinted dome that is glossy and opaque, which gives it a sleek, polished look. Its frontal lobe appears to be rounded and uniform, lacking the fine details or the subtle irregularities seen in the earlier designs. In contrast, the Big Chap's skull is semi-translucent, allowing a faint suggestion of an internal human-like skull to show through. This inner structure includes 2 shallow eye sockets loosely visible beneath the dome, which adds an uncanny reminder of the Xenomorph's parasitic human origins. The frontal lobe of the Big Chap's skull also has slight dents, which gives its head a more biomechanical and almost unfinished quality that heightens its unsettling looks. The 4th difference, the legs. The structure of the Xenomorph legs plays a major role in how the creature moves and how it is visually perceived. The Alien Earth Xenomorph is depicted with digitigrade legs, meaning it walks and runs on its toes with an elevated heel, similar to many terrestrial predators like cats or raptors. This design gives it a more animalistic and agile profile, allowing for quicker, spring-loaded movements and a more bestial stance. In contrast, the original 1979 Big Chap was designed with plantigrade legs where the entire foot rests on the ground, much like a human. This gave the Big Chap a more humanoid posture and a slower, looming presence, aligning with the eerie stalking behavior showcased in the film. The shift from the plantigrade to the digigrade leg designs reflects a design choice. The Big Chap emphasized uncanny human-alien fusion, while the Alien Earth Xenomorph leans towards a more predatory, animal-like interpretation of the species. Number 5. The inner jaw design. The Xenomorph's inner jaw, its iconic secondary mouth that launches outward with devastating force to kill, is another detail where the Alien Earth variant diverges from the original Big Chap. In Alien Earth, the inner jaw is tinted yellow, giving it an almost diseased or insectoid look. By contrast, the 1979 Big Chap's inner jaw was a pale, whitish tone, closer to the exposed bone or animal coloration, which reinforced the impression of a skeletal anatomy lurking beneath its biomechanical, almost metallic shell. The whitish inner jaw fits seamlessly into the unsettling fusion of the human and the alien in H.R. Giger's original design. The yellow-tinted inner jaw of the Alien Earth's Xenomorph, however, suggests a different evolutionary or even an environmental adaptation. Number 6. The Tail Barb. The tail is one of the Xenomorph's most versatile weapons, which it uses to slash and stab victims to death or to immobilize them for ecmorphing or to keep them barely alive for the face huggers. The Alien Earth Xenomorph possesses a tail barb, a longer one, that extends further past the tail's tip. The barb curves slightly upwards and features a sharp hook before the final point, which suggests it is adapted to not only stab but also to tear apart or hook prey. Big Chap has a shorter tail barb that curves inwards towards the body, making it appear more compact while not any less deadly, however. While both barbs serve as piercing weapons, the Alien Earth Xenomorph elongated hooked variant implies a greater emphasis on grappling or holding its victims, whereas the Big Chap's shorter, inward curve barb was more subtle and may be more in line with its stealth attack specialization. Number 7. The chest sternum. The chest design of the Xenomorph is another area where the Alien Earth variant introduces a unique twist. The Alien Earth Xenomorph sternum is shaped almost like an open petal, giving the chest a layered, organic look. This sternum design also carries an impression of being divided into multiple sections, resembling a cluster of about 14 cell-shaped scales arranged in a symmetrical pattern, while the 1979 Big Chap featured a more conventional sternum, a structure that loosely echoes a human chest, though exaggerated with a rugged biomechanical finishing. Along its ventral sides ran a row of short, bony osteoderm-like protrusions that adds to the texture and a skeletal impression of its design. This made the Big Chap's torso feel disturbingly human yet distinctly alien at the same time. The Alien Earth variant, with a speller-like sternum and scale-like patterning, shifts away from the human resemblance, instead leaning more to an alien, an armor-plated visual identity. Number 8. The height and size. In Alien Earth, the creature appears comparatively smaller, standing at no more than 2 meters tall, at the most, when seen alongside Morrow and Shmuel, the crew members of the Maginot. This gives it a height closer to that of an imposing human rather than a towering monster, which makes it seem more compact and agile, while still menacing. And it also crawls on its four legs most of the time, so that's even harder to estimate. By contrast, the 1979 Big Chap was officially recorded at 7 feet 2 inches, roughly 2.2 meters. A size that perfectly magnifies its unnatural proportions and made it loom over human characters with an inhuman presence. The slightly reduced stature of the Alien Earth Xenomorph changes its visual aspect. Instead of relying on sheer size to instill fear, it projects menace through speed, predatory posture, and is more animalistic build. Whereas the Big Chap dominated scenes with its height, slow movements, and uncanny humanoid form. Number 9. The Overmorph differences. The origins of the Alien Earth Xenomorph and its original Big Chap also differ in subtle but important ways, especially when it comes to their overmorphs. The Alien Earth variant hatched from a black egg, whose surface appeared rough, scaly, and less moist than typical Xenomorph eggs which are seen in the earlier movies. This texture suggests that the overmorph there in the series may have been fossilized or at least partially desiccated, indicating a great age or long dormancy. These eggs were found on an alien moon, strongly hinted to be maybe LV-426, tying the variant life cycle back to the same infamous world that first introduced the species. In contrast, the 1979 Big Chap emerged from a brown-hued egg discovered aboard the derelict craft on LV-426. These eggs appeared more moist, organic, and alive, with skin covered in vein-like structures that pulse with an unsettling vitality. This difference in egg appearances not only affects the aesthetics but also suggests variations in environmental conditions, or maybe even age or strain within the Xenomorph species. And the last difference is that of the Chestburster and its change in coloration. A Chestburster is the juvenile stage of the Xenomorph, a form that emerges violently from within a host organism after implantation by a face hugger. It represents the most gruesome part of the Xenomorph life cycle, erupting from the host's chest cavity as a serpentine eel-like creature with a small head, elongated body, and rudimentary limbs. From this stage, it rapidly grows into a fully developed drone or warrior within a few hours. The alien Earth Chestburster was depicted with a dark brown to near black coloration. As it matured, it developed into a drone with a brownish overall coloration, maintaining the darker, more earthen palette. However, the 1979 Big Chap Chestburster was pale yellowish in tone, with a softer fleshy look that shows its newborn fragility, but in a horrifying contrast to the violence of its birth. From this pale larval stage, it rapidly matured into a towering drone, the Big Chap, whose body was predominantly black with biomechanical textures. So as you can see, the alien Earth Xenomorph, the change from the Chestburster to the drone in coloration is almost negligible, but when you take a look at the Big Chap, from a pale yellowish creature, the Chestburster, it grew into a predominantly black creature, the Xenomorph, the Big Chap, which highlights a really stark change in coloration. Anyway, with that we end this video on the 10 differences between the alien Earth Xenomorph and the 1979 Xenomorph. So if you like this video, then watch this other one too. Also do hit that like button for support, and for the ones viewing this in their phones, do press the hype option to hype the video to other viewers. Also subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one. Take care, fam.